Shelley, okay, we get the news. We're waiting for more news, perhaps out of Oracle. The shares are still halted. It still needs approval from the U.S. and from Beijing. What are the odds this thing actually gets through?
Yeah, so we're far from done. I would say we're just beginning now to figure out what is about to happen because now the ball is in the Trump administration's court. Basically, TikTok has decided, okay, Microsoft, your proposal is not going to fly with us. We're going to go with Oracle, which actually provides ByteDance and TikTok much more control. It gets to keep a lot more control of the company than previously discussed under a Microsoft deal, which would have been an outright sale. The question now is, Trump has been pushing for an outright sale, and many of the members of his administration have been pushing for an outright sale for many weeks now. This is not that. And so is the Trump administration going to accept that?
Are we going to get all the details we need by Friday? Friday's the deadline. It's the 20th. We're waiting basically to make sure that we can get it done so that at the beginning of next week we can have a clean sheet of paper to start off again. Shelley, is that going to happen? Because at the moment this looks unbelievably messy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was very rare for Steve Mnuchin to come on and confirm that, CFIUS is looking through this and weighing through the proposals, that it had received a proposal. This has been the most publicly outright public deal negotiations I've ever seen. And, he said, we're going to look through this, we're going to present something to Trump, and that September 20th does remain the deadline. Now, what happens from there is also a question mark. They could come back and say, no, we don't like this, try again. And we could start this whole process all over again.
So, Shelley, we know that TikTok was in the process of suing the Trump administration, trying to get rid of this ban. Does that now stop until we get things with the deal figured out, or is that continuing? What does all this mean?
I think the biggest challenge with this story is that there's not one thing happening. There's a bunch of things happening all at the same time. Many tracks are happening, simultaneously. And so you have what's going on in China in one instance. You have what's going on in the U.S. in one instance. You have TikTok. You have Oracle. You had Microsoft. You had investors. There are all these different parties that all have a stake to claim, and they're all happening simultaneously. And so the lawsuit, will most likely continue to keep going. The executive order still stands. There's another executive order with a deadline in November that still stands. All of these things are happening in tandem, and that's part of why this story has been so confusing to follow.